This is the NETGEAR Orbi 970 series quad-band Wi-Fi 7 mesh network system. I set it up at home because I wanted true multi-gig Wi-Fi for work, streaming, and a growing pile of smart devices. I came in excited but a little cautious. Wi-Fi 7 is new, and early gear can be amazing on paper and a handful in daily use. After living with it, I have a lot to share, both the wow moments and the rough edges, so you can decide if it's the right fit. The design looks premium and modern, with a smooth, rounded triangle profile and a subtle front light bar that turns blue while booting, stays off when everything is fine, and shows red if something's wrong. Each unit is big, about 11.58 by 5.68 by 5.15 inches, and has some real heft. The full 3-pack kit is over 18 pounds in the box, so it feels like serious hardware, not a toy router. The size isn't just for looks. Inside are 12 antennas, a fast processor, and multi-gig ports. Cooling is passive, so there's no fan noise. They run warm to the touch but quiet. Around back, the router gives you a 10 gig internet port, another 10 gig LAN, and 4 2.5 gig LANs. Each satellite has a 10 gig LAN plus 2 2.5 gig. No USB ports at all, which surprised me. If you rely on plugging in a drive or a printer to the router, that's not an option here. Setup happened in the Orbi app, and the units were already paired from the factory, which saved time. The app walks you through, but I learned to follow the steps exactly. Powering a satellite too early sent me into a loop once. I reset and let the app lead, and it was smooth after that. I like that the app shows a map of the nodes and signal quality, so I could nudge placement for better coverage. Key features here are Wi-Fi 7 with multi-link operation, MLO, 320 MHz channels on 6 GHz, 4K QAM, and a patented quad-band layout with an enhanced dedicated backhaul. In plain English, mesh means the router and satellites talk to each other to blanket your home. Backhaul is the private highway between them. On this system, part of the 5 GHz and 6 GHz radios are reserved to keep that link fast and consistent, so your devices don't have to fight with the mesh for airtime. MLO lets a single device use more than one band at the same time, like 5 GHz and 6 GHz together, which boosts speed and smooths out hiccups. From my experience, the speed up close is wild. With a Wi-Fi 7 laptop a few feet from the router, I saw over 2 gigabytes on local throughput tests and maxed out my internet line easily. At a satellite still wireless, I could hit my full plan speeds on fast servers. Walking far away, think 70 to 80 feet and a couple walls, the speed dropped sharply closer to a few hundred Mbps, sometimes under 200 Mbps depending on where I stood. That's still fine for streaming and calls, but it's not the same rocket ship you get within a room or two of a node. The coverage rating says up to 10,000 sq ft for the 3-pack. And I did get bars everywhere in my house, but the real magic happens when you're closer to each node. I got the best results by placing satellites closer together than I first planned. I also tried a wired backhaul using the 10 gig ports and Cat6. That made the mesh feel even more consistent, especially for big file transfers. One thing to know, even with wired backhaul, it appears the Orbi still reserves its dedicated wireless backhaul band for node-to-node duties and doesn't give it back to client devices. It keeps the system stable, but power users might wish they could reassign that radio to client traffic when everything is wired. On day-to-day use, I ran into 2 pain points. Early on, my iPhone had random drops where it would bounce off the network and need a quick Wi-Fi toggle. A firmware update later, that behavior calmed down for me and has stayed solid since. I also saw a couple of spontaneous reboots during a hot weekend. The units do run warm. Moving the router to a more open shelf and giving it more space helped. After that, and with the newer firmware, uptime has been strong. If you're seeing instability, make sure auto updates are on, keep the units ventilated, and consider a wired backhaul if you can. On software, the app is clean but basic. It's great for quick setup and monitoring, but there's a catch. You can't split the 2.4, 5, and 6 GHz bands into separate network names. The system uses one SSID and band steers devices automatically. That's simple for most people, but if you're like me and sometimes want to force a device onto 2.4 GHz for range or 6 GHz for speed, it's frustrating. The workaround is using the IoT or guest network, which you can aim at a specific band. It works, but it's not elegant. Security-wise, you get NETGEAR Armor for a year, which scans for threats and has protection for your devices. After the trial, it's a paid subscription. Parental controls also have a paid tier for the advanced stuff. In my opinion, this is a pricey system already, so needing subscriptions for the full feature set isn't my favorite trend, but the protection itself is solid. The raw performance near each node is the standout. This system made Wi-Fi feel like a high-end wired connection in the same room, and that's rare. The multi-gig ports are a big deal. The 10-gig internet port and 10-gig LAN mean I can fully use fast fiber today and grow into faster plans tomorrow. The satellites having multi-gig ports is clutch for plugging in a desktop, media server, or console in another room without running a long cable back to the router. The enhanced dedicated backhaul helps keep speeds consistent when a lot of devices are talking at once. The 360-degree antenna design seemed to pay off. I got strong, stable links with the satellites when I placed them with clear line of sight. The app's simplicity makes setup fast for non-techie folks, and auto firmware updates plus advanced router protection give peace of mind. It's perfect for homes with many modern devices that can use 5 and 6 gigahertz for people working from home who move giant files, and for families that stream in multiple rooms at the same time. In my opinion, Wi-Fi 7's MLO and those extra-wide 320 MHz channels are the feel-it-right-away upgrades when you've got compatible gear. Loading huge cloud docks, syncing from NAS, and downloading big games all felt snappier. There are quirks, but the core experience, when the units are placed well and kept cool, delivers. From my experience, the Orbi 970 series is a powerhouse with a personality. When it's on song, it flies. It gives you absurd speed in the same room, strong multi-gig options for wired gear, and a mesh that can stretch across a big footprint if you plan the layout smartly. The trade-offs are real. Big hardware that gets warm, a simple app that hides advanced controls like SSID splitting, and early firmware that may need an update before everything feels rock solid. If you want bleeding-edge Wi-Fi 7 and you're comfortable tuning placement, checking updates, and maybe wiring backhaul between nodes, I'd recommend this for power users and families who actually push their network. If you just want a set and forget box and never think about it again, you might wait or pick something simpler. Key features in short: Wi-Fi 7 up to 27 gig EPC, theoretical, quad band with enhanced dedicated backhaul, 10 gig internet port plus multi-gig LAN on every unit, coverage up to 10,000 square feet, and built-in security with automatic firmware updates. It works with any ISP, cable, or fiber, and the setup through the Orbi app is easy. In conclusion, this system feels like a sports car, stunning when you open it up, but it asks a little more from the driver. If that sounds like you, the payoff is worth it. If not, there are gentler rides. I will update specific information about the NETGEAR Orbi 970 series quad-band Wi-Fi 7 mesh network system in the comments. Don't forget to catch my next video.